It's time for the BAQA. Hey, the BAQA, what you say? The BAQA with Mandi, the BAQA with Tiffany. The BAQA.
Hey.
Should we do a little disclaimer, to make our lawyer friends happy?
Yes, please.
If you've got questions, we have some answers, but not necessarily for you. Just some things we be saying. But you are going to reach out to your doctor, your lawyer, your financial advisor, somebody that you pay for the next level of financial education, if you will.
Yeah.
AKA sue your grandma, not us. But if you do have some questions that you'd like to hear some general answers, not specifically geared toward you, about, go ahead on over to brownambitionpodcast.com. And click the contact us button or slide into our DMs, Brown Ambition Podcast on IG. And we got you. Okay?
Yeah. And if you have a follow-up, just let us know that it's a follow-up question or just you're following up on a question that we answered. I love getting those.
Yes.
And seeing where the journey has taken y'all.
Yes. And if you could tell us it was this episode or maybe what we called you, what your name was or whatever, that'd be
just
helpful.
Please make it as simple as possible because sometimes we don't know where the original question went to.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We've been doing it for how many years? Almost 9.
I know.
That's a lot of questions. All right, but we have a cute question today. This is from IG, Kelsey, who says we can use her name. Oh, we love it, just out there, queen. All right, Tiff, this is your credit land, your credit lane, okay?
Okay.
Hi, BA fam. I have a question. I love your show and your advice is much appreciated. My husband and I are hoping to buy a house this fall, even though the economy isn't the greatest. We're spending the summer tackling our credit card debt. I've noticed it takes a long time for the updated balance to show on my credit report. For example, I paid off 2 cards in full at the end of May, and almost 2 months later, they still haven't updated. Is that normal? When we are ready to meet with a lender to see how much we qualify for, should we wait for all of those accounts to show as paid on Credit Karma or Experian, etc.? Or will they have access to a more up-to-date version of our credit report? Thank you so much for your help. All right, Kelsey.
Kelsey. Well, really, it's probably not the credit bureaus that are holding you up. There's 3 core ones. There's more, but these are the 3 core ones. That's TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. So they update about, to your point, once a month, at least every 45 days, right? It might be the lender, whoever you've paid back, they can take their sweet time letting their credit bureaus know, hey, y'all, Kelsey had did a thing. Now, typically, they do tell the lender once a month or so, and sometimes even up to 2 months. But the best place to really ask is to reach out to the credit card companies that you paid off, pay the balances down and say, hey, has this been reported to the credit bureau? And if not, when can I expect it to be reported? Because it's still not showing on my credit reports that this has been paid down or off. And ask that question. And quite honestly, if it was me, buying a house these days, it's like every penny counts. I probably would wait for my credit bureau to reflect, the fact that I don't owe as much before seeing what I can be pre-approved for. The truth is you're going to have your credit pulled multiple times still. They're right before you close. So this is not the last time. But if we're talking about pre-approval, which is an important process, which basically will let your lender know, what you can possibly borrow. This would potentially affect, especially if you owed a lot of money, could affect how much money you could borrow on a house. So I would say be patient, but also tap your lender on the shoulder. And I would wait to see the adjustment before looking to purchase a home right away.
Yeah, it's interesting that she says, the economy is not that great. I think the housing market, I don't know, the economy, I just saw reports the economy is doing amazing. It's what you and I were talking about, how it the numbers are showing that the economy is fine, but people don't feel that way. It's probably because housing prices are so high and rates are still high compared to normal historically, but really high compared to what we were enjoying a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I think I've come now on the side of go ahead and buy, don't wait for the perfect time and the perfect subpar rate. I think that it's helpful to see people zoom out and show the historical interest rates. And it was pretty unusual that we had 2% rates back when, pre-pandemic and during the pandemic. And now like 6% is like kind of, it's normal.
Because
It's
here's
not
the
great,
thing.
but it's normal.
I bought my condo. When I bought my condo, I'm turning 45 this year. I was 25 when I bought my condo, and my rate was like 5.6%. That was that, you know what I mean? And that was not a bad rate. That was considered more than fair. 2%, it literally never hit 2% before. That was a historic, maybe once in a lifetime, we gonna see, rate. And so to wait for it to go down to 2 or 3%, you're gonna be waiting a long time, baby girl. You're gonna have gray hairs and a rocket share, and maybe 4 or 5% would be, but you can also buy and then keep your credit strong. And then maybe in 4 or 5 years, depending, where the interest rates lead, you could certainly refinance, which there's cost associated, but still that's potentially an option. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to buying a home, it is to me half investment and half heart choice, depending, like if you're buying a home that you're going to live in, meaning I want you to be smart and say, hey, I'm not trying to buy a home that doesn't make sense financially for myself and my family, but also, like I'm buying a home because like I'm trying to live here. And so you're allowed to not make like a choice that's strictly financial. I know it sounds crazy, but like remember Manny when I bought my condo and Dr. Green was like, I'm not Dr. Green, Anjali, my CFP, my certified financial planner said, ideally, Tiffany, I don't want you to pay cash. I'd like for you to be in the market. And she wasn't wrong because, we've seen the market was up last year, closed at like up 22%. And I don't know where we are now, but the market has continued to be up. So that money in the market would have generated, because, it was a significant amount of money that I paid for the condo. But my heart choice for me, for the level of calm and things that I needed, I wanted to pay for it cash because I'm still a little nervous from losing my first condo to a foreclosure. Plus, I knew 2023 was going to be a hard financial year, and it was. And I didn't want to have to worry about also having to come out of pocket monthly. And so I decided, I remember asking her, if I buy it cash, is it a really bad decision or is it just not the best financial decision? She's like, it's not a bad decision. It's just not the best financial decision, but you're fine either way. And so I let my heart lead because I was like, I'm going to be fine either way. This is just a better decision where maybe I could have come up, I don't know, tens of thousands of dollars. But
look at that condo though. And like we've talked about this multiple times, but like the security and the peace.
Yes.
And the flex of it all. I think it is so baller. You just pay for that shit in cash.
But like I said, so I just want you, as you are purchasing homes that you're going to live in, primary residence, that to say that it is okay to integrate both sides, your left side of your brain, your right side of your brain, and one doesn't have to overpower the other. Because at the end of the day, the day gonna end.
I know that is not like a new expression, but it was like new to me. And I had said it so many times this weekend. I said it to my husband and he didn't hear me the first time. And I was like, at the end of the day gonna end. And he just looked over. He's like, fuck, are you Socrates?
Don't you love that when someone, you're like, did they not catch the joke or is it just not funny to them? You're like, let me say it again.
So much of what I say just gets filtered through the husband, like, the catch it. So I have to repeat myself many times.
It's like, what was said? No, especially if I'm in my group and I'm like, that was a really funny joke. I feel like they didn't hear it. So then I say it again and I'm like, they did hear it. And then nobody reacts. And I'm like, oh, so moving right along with my pride and tact.
Delivery with a fresh audience.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe it was my, exactly. I'm like, I feel like that is funny. It killed at the last event.
Not like nothing sadder than a flat joke. You know what I mean? Just brings the vibe down. People feel bad for you.
Right. And don't do it in front of your sisters, whatever. They're like, we heard you.
I
or
bet
people
your
who like
sisters
love
are a
you
tough
and can
crowd.
like, exactly. Because sisters are like, oh, you thought you ate with that? Like that's what the young ones will say. I'm like, I did eat with it. But yeah, so if y'all are buying home, so anybody, I would love to know from our audience, did you guys, anybody buy a home this year? How's it going? How are you feeling? Is it a little scary? And if you are trying to buy a home, what are home prices looking like in your area?
Too
like,
much.
Like what are, like, is your, I'm assuming the price of your home, Mandy, has gone up significantly since you purchased it.
Yeah. Yeah, it has.
Okay.
And which is great. I was actually kind of considering I'm hashtag stuck in a starter home. And, the amount of time I just spent envisioning how we could like make it work for us a little bit longer. I'm at the point where I'm like, either we're going to like maybe do a cash out refi, take advantage of the equity and really do like another remodel. Or just, maybe take a cash out refi and use the money for another house and rent this one out.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't think I would tell another young family like, no, this house is adorable, but nah, it's too small. But I think it would be a great Airbnb property, but we just got to see what the money's looking like. Financially right now, I don't think we're not there yet to like buy something else and keep this place. We could buy somewhere else, but like keeping this place. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. It's grown up shit. I'm glad that we bought the house when we did, but
yes,
decisions just get more tricky. They don't get easier.
Girl.
They get trickier. Mm-hmm.
You just be trying to get like, is this the right choice? I guess I'll see you in 50 years.
Right? It's about, you got to do the best with the options you have today and then release yourself from the
Release
guilt.
it.
Release it. But thank you, Kelsey, for your question. BA fam, if you want to leave us a question, you know how to do it. Go to IG, drop into our DMs. Sorry, slide into our DMs. Drop. Okay, boomer. We are at Brown Ambition Podcast on IG or brownambitionpodcast@gmail.com. Oh, and while you're at it, why don't you leave us a review, please? Ooh, yes. We love it. We got some really cute reviews from our listeners. Can I read one of them real quick, Tiff?
Yes, of course.
We got 3 new ones. I love this one. It says, podcast from the Gods. Gawd. It's TK. TK on Apple Podcast says, I recently discovered this podcast and I'm glad I did. I have learned so many things, have been able to put so many of your tools and tips to play in my own life and finances. The only way this podcast could be any better is if I could listen 24/7.
Oh, we love that.
P.S. Show notes would be great if you have the time. We love a little positive feedback. Yes, it's TK. Yeah, we're going to get right on that, Rose. Thank you so much for, that was a reference to Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Anybody?
No, I didn't get that.
Okay. That's
I was like, Rose, I thought you said her name was TK.
Never mind. Okay. Thank you so much, BFM. We love you. Check us out Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Bye-bye.
Hey, BA fam. We're on YouTube. Woohoo! Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.
And while you're at it, why don't you go over to that little bell icon and just tap that for us. Show the BA fam how much you love us. And that way you'll also get notifications when new videos drop. Also, share the channel with a friend. We're always like, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And thank y'all so much again for all the support.